Number 3 is their rival, and it's Ohio State. This, I tell you what, that game can't get here soon enough. They were both undefeated in last year's game. There's a good chance they're both going to be undefeated in this year's game. This Ohio State team is excellent. They lost those last 2 games last year. One of them to Georgia. The only 2 losses are my 1 and 2 teams from a year ago to end the year. I know Buckeye fans don't want to hear that, but that's the truth. And there's an immense amount of pressure on Ohio State this year, and namely Ryan Day. And I get it. When you're at Ohio State, you've got to beat Michigan, you've got to win the Big Ten, and you've got to go and compete for and potentially win national championships. When you look at what Ohio State has done under Ryan Day, they have completely dominated everybody except for Michigan and in the playoff. So that has to start to change. So when you look at this team, here's what I see. I see a team that is actually a little better than they were a year ago, except for quarterback. That's the only unproven position. Everywhere else, I can make an argument that they are better. Now, the offensive line, you can make, well, it can be a discussion, but I do think, having seen them in spring ball, I think that this offensive line is going to be pretty darn good. TreVeyon Henderson should be more healthy. They should get more out of the run game. They've got the best wide receiver tandem in the country with Emeka Egbuka, and the best player in college football, Marvin Harrison Jr. Their defense should be much better than they were a year ago when they couldn't get stops late in the game against Michigan and against Georgia. This is a good football team. Why am I not worried about their quarterback? It's a good question. I think it's going to be Kyle McCord. Ryan Day has played it close to the vest. But when you look at the history of Ryan Day, here's what you see. You see that he's had one-year quarterbacks almost his entire career. If you go back to his time at Boston College or even through the NFL, even early at Ohio State, he basically had 1 year with a guy and then had to move to the next guy. In fact, the first quarterback that he had for a second year in his first, in the last 9 seasons was Justin Fields. Then he had a second year with C.J. Stroud. By the way, both of those guys, obviously very talented, had great first seasons. When you average out the first season under Ryan Day, it's about 41 total touchdowns and 5 interceptions. By the way, Kyle McCord, he's going to be playing behind an Ohio State offensive line with TreVeyon Henderson in the backfield and Marvin Harrison on the outside. So, how do you think he's going to do, Joel? Pretty damn good. I just don't see a scenario in which Kyle McCord is the problem for Ohio State. Their big question is, can they handle Michigan, the physicality of Michigan, the physicality of Georgia?